Okay, so our Flutter application has completed running or executing, and there it is. So this is an application, and that's how you make apps. It is that simple to make an application. Just follow those steps, and boom, you have something like this. All right, so this is our application. It is we have not added there anything, but we still have something. We can be able to click here, and when you click here, you see this button is changing, right? So can increase some things from here. All right, so yeah, that's our application. Now let's go into the code and try to understand the code. All right, so for the Flutter application to run, there must be what we call a main function. In fact, in Dutch programming, for it to run a system, there must be a main function. A main function is a function that where the system starts. So you have a file called main file. So this is the main file that must always be in your project, because it is the file that the compiler or anything will be starting from. Let's say that you have 50 files, and in your project, but in those 50 files there is no main file. So how will the computer know that this is where the application starts from? It cannot know. So to inform the computer that start from here, that's what we call main file. If you have ever done HTML things, we call it index.html or index.php, something like that. So in that programming, the file is called main file. So let's look into this main file. So this main file has a function called main function. So main function is the one that that is called. It is the function that is called when the application starts running. So it means that if you remove everything in this function, it means that there will be nothing in the application, totally nothing, right? And if you remove the whole main function, then it means that your application cannot run. Why? Because the computer will not know where to start from. So the computer will start from here, main, and then after it goes ahead and say run up. So this is a Flutter inbuilt command, or inbuilt function. It says run up, then goes ahead and say my app, and you call it you start a class, or you call a function my app. So when you call this, it will go ahead and do what? And start your application. So you just simply say class my app extends stateless widget. So we shall look at what's meant by stateless widget. So it means that this is your application. I mean, this is your function, or this is your class that you've created. But this class that you've created, you have to make it inherit some functions. So Flutter can help you to tell either Android operating system, or tell you cannot see my screen. Someone wanted to say something, but I hope you are seeing my screen.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. All right, so now this main function is just your function, and it must extend stateless widget or stateful widget. As we shall proceed, we shall understand what's meant by those two. And the purpose of this, extending this, it means that it needs other functionalities, because stateful widget has functionalities that we did not create, but the Flutter created it. So you have to extend it so you can be able to achieve those functionalities. And then you come here and put what we call build. You override build. So overriding build, it means that you want to put content inside that. So just simply put at override. In fact, you don't even put yourself. The ID that puts it for you. So you say at override build, and then it receives the context, and then you return what you want to show. Now we have what we call material app. So material app is the one that gives our Flutter application a design. All right, that kind of design that you're seeing there, it's being given by what we call a material app. Then we have the mode. The title. So the title, as it sounds, is the title of that screen. All right, is the title of that screen. Then you have a theme. A theme, you see a theme is on top here. So it's a place where you can design your application, and then the theme that you put there, it will be used in the entire application. Let's say that we know that MTN color is yellow, and MTN is color is yellow maybe and blue. So all those things to make sure that the application is following the main color as yellow and blue and whatever. The text color should be in this color, the text in this side should be in this color. So all those are done here on the theme side, on the same level. Theme level. So this is a place where you manage the themes or the look and feel of your application. Then we have home. So home is a function that is actually being displayed. All right, that is actually being that is actually generate the content that's going to be displayed on the screen. So you see here in the main we have a stateful widget, and then for the stateful widget we shall instrument a stateful widget, and then you can see here there's a formula that is increasing. All right, there is a formula that is increased that is being called when a plus button is created, is clicked. So you see here, if a floating button or plus icon is clicked, and then this function will do what? Will execute, which will add 1 on what? Will add 1 on the existing number that we're displaying on the screen. So that is pretty much all about the Flutter the Flutter structure. So we're going to break down and remove unnecessary things and try some different things to make sure that we have a clear understand with Flutter. The Flutter development. All right. So you can look at that code very carefully. Also, when you compile your own, go ahead and look at it. All right. So let us dive into reducing this project to things that we don't want. Okay. So how do we do that? Just a minute. Give me a minute. Let me put my laptop on charge and not charged. All right. Okay, so let's break down again this code and remove all the unnecessary codes, and then we look at the meaning of each and every piece of line in this project. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I'm going to remove these comments. That programming is very simple. I'm going to remove first of all the comments that we don't need. Oh, before we remove the comments, let's first look at the coding structure. I mean, the file structure of our Flutter project here. Let's start with that. All right, so the file structure of our Flutter project. You see, this is the Flutter project here. This is our Flutter project. Now, in it, we have Android. So Android, it's the folder called Android. It is where our code that is related to Android will be put. We shall not deal much with that folder. Flutter will be generating almost 99% of that code. For us, we'll be just going there to fix, maybe setting there our JKS file, only that. Like when you want to submit this app on Play Store, that's when you shall be going here, just to set a few things, right? So our Android folder, this is the build folder. So this build folder, it's also, we don't have anything to do with it. 100% this build folder will do what? Will be generated. You see, there is even a star. It will be generated by what? By Flutter. We don't need to deal with it at all. In fact, that folder will just go there when an app has been generated and you want to share the APK or to upload the .aab file to Android. So this one also don't deal with it. It will just be containing things that Flutter has generated. Then we come and have the lib folder. So this is where all our project will be. This is a place where all our project will be, and all the things that we shall be doing, they will be in this lib folder. Then we come and have a thing I call the test. So this test is also another optional folder. It is either there or not there. And then the one more file that is very important. It's called the YAML file. So this YAML file is done that help us to configure they call it pubspec.yaml. It helps us to configure our application. For example, application name, you can see it here. If you want to update our app, changing the versions of our app, we do all those things from this side of pubspec.yaml. So I think you now understand the structure of our code. So our code right now is in this main file, right? So yeah, that's it. Now, this file we're going to first to clean it up, right? So it starts from here. It calls my main, and then my main is here. So you have here builds. I can go ahead and remove these comments because I don't need them. And then I can go ahead and remove this is the page, like the home page, right? So and it's one that is being displayed, right? So I can go ahead and remove the comments on it. I can go ahead and remove the comments on it. I can go ahead and remove the comments on it. Now can just remove as many things that I want, the comments, right? Now so if you have observed, Flutter arranges things in form of tree where one thing is inside the other. So you can see here we have main. Inside main there is what? There is main, my app. Inside my app there is now the content itself. So it means that it is always a parent to child relationship in Flutter. There is no any other file that will function that will totally be independent. from the app, and then it gets executed. All files are somehow contained in the main tree, as I've showed you. So what I'm going to do to get our code well organized, what we always do, we always put the pages, or what we call screens, in their own folder. You can call it a screen, you can call it a what? You can call it a page. It's up to you. So I'm going to call it screens. For me, that's what I want to use, that I always use. But you can call them as well pages, those interfaces. So let me create the pages. So I come here to lib and create new folder. And then I'm going to call it my homepage I'm going to call it pages. Come here and create new folder, a new directory, and call it pages. So in those pages is where we shall be putting our what? Our screens that we work on. So let me go ahead and the screen that we actually display on the screen. Alright, so I'll come here and say pages, I right click, new file. Let me put here my page dot dat. So every extension that you do in that programming, you have to give it an extension of dat. Every file that you upload, every file that you create, you call it, you have to give it an extension of dat, like this. So I'll press enter, and I can still have here pages and my pages here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this whole class of my pages. There are two functions, copy all of them, and then come here to my page and then paste them there. Alright, so you'll see a lot of errors. So these errors or warnings, they should not always scare you, right? So main is crying, or it is bringing errors. Why? Because it cannot see my home page. You see, when I reduce these things to that screen, you see how this screen gets also freed. And so I will go ahead and import this. So to import this, you can just click on this bulb. You'll see different ideas. So I'll go ahead and import. I'll just simply go ahead and import my home page. Where is it? My home page, like this. Remove constant. Why is it crying? Alright, so let's go here and also import, alt and enter. The shortcut of importing, you can press, of course, or the shortcut for options, you can press alt and enter. Alt and enter. So let me invite that. So everything is well. Let me explain what I've just done. Everything was in this screen, but you saw how the screen was so much congested. So what we do, I created another external file. I called it my homepage.dat, and then I copied all the content that about that screen, which is my homepage, and I pasted it here in my content. So things that were crying, I solved them by importing. And to import, you just press alt and enter while pointing in something that is showing an error, and then to go ahead and import. Or you click on the red bulb that has ideas, click on it to show you possible ideas of things that you may import. Yeah, and then you make use of them. So yeah, so we have here main and then my home page, right? So yeah, so that is it. And yeah, so I can remove here many things. I can remove many things that I don't want. All right, I remove many things that I don't want. Now I'm going to create another class for my home page. So I'll go ahead and copy this and remove all this, and then I'm going to create a class called stateless widget. So stateless, I'm going to create a screen called with a stateless widget. So stateless widget, it means that you don't want to keep states. we shall explain what's meant by states as we proceed, right? So let me go ahead and create stateless widget class. So to create a stateless widget, you just write STL less. As you're writing STL, it will automatically suggest stateless. Go ahead and press enter. So press there the name of your function. So there you go. I don't want to receive titles, so if I click here, you can see my stateless widget. It's there. Why is it crying? And showing an error. So yeah, there it is, my stateless widget. So stateless widget is the one that is the stateless screen, right? So I want to take you slowly. I want you to understand things. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the meaning of each and every thing here. It's very important. So here we have if I come back here to main, we have here what you call my material app. So I can as well delete this material app like this, and then return whatever I want. So I can say simply return text. So text there is a widget that we use to do what? To write text. Or it's a user interface that we use to write text. So let's save. So you see, there's going to be an error. So if I run it again, we run it again. So these days, material app is required. Alright, so let's go out to my app. Now, my app, we see there's what you call scaffold. Now, there's something called placeholder. So placeholder, as it sounds, it's just being used to hold our space, right? So when we get content to put in our space, you can just go ahead and put that content in there. But I would like you to look very carefully at our screen. It is very big. In fact, you can even fail to get where to start from, right? Like, okay, and everything is black. It is going outside the screen. Where should I start from? And that's where the beauty of Flutter comes in, right? The beauty of Flutter comes by providing you widgets that helps you that simplifies your life when programming, right? Now they have this one widget called scaffold. Anyway, members, are you following anyway? You see, shouldn't be here teaching myself. You guys, are you there?
We are there. We are there.
Okay, good. Are you following? Are you enjoying? Huh?
We are trying. It's not so much different with the Android we are doing.
That's good. It's different. You're going to see the difference. Now, with Flutter, it's totally different. Android, you write your XML, all those stuff. Anyway, with Flutter, it has something that it gives you. It's called scaffold. So the scaffold, it gives you a control on your screen, and it gives you all the basic things that you may need to set. Most standard things that you always need, right? So I can get rid of this placeholder and replace it with what? With text, right? Put their text. You see, our text is there, but it's in black, it's in red, with a yellow underlining. Like, you can just okay, where am I going to start from? You can wonder. Now, To start from, you better start from something called scaffold. With scaffold, you have ability to access most common things that we always use in mobile application. So instead of returning a plain text content, return a widget called scaffold. So just let me save. When I save, you'll see that there is totally a lot of differences. All right. Now this scaffold has so many features. All right, has so many features. For example, or has so many parameters. For example, the first parameter that we have is an app bar. So an app bar helps us to do what? An app bar helps us to do what? To have an app bar, or to design an app bar and manage with the what? With the app. So we're going to look at different features that you can pass in this app, in this scaffold. So for example, the first thing that we have is an app bar. So app bar, this is what you pass to it. You just simply say app bar, and then you pass here a class called app bar, and then this app bar will give it a title, and then you can see, and then go ahead and say constant. Then go ahead and give a text, and then say, for example, my home page, like this. So you see, the point here is we have now our what? Our app bar, have our screen designed in the right way, and everything is now almost getting into shape. All right. So this app bar, it also has things that you can pass to it. We shall come to them. Another important thing on a scaffold is the body itself. So the body is a section where the content will start displaying. So if I come here to the body, put here body, then go ahead and can simply pass also another widget called text and say hello world. Okay, I say this is content section. Now if I save, you can see I have my home page. I then have here hello world. This is content section. So you see, like with just a few lines, we have made something that is really amazing compared to something which was actually empty, but within 2 lines we have something that, within few lines we have something that has actually made change. Just look at that code and understand it, analyze it, and try to understand it. It is simple and straightforward, but does something powerful. So before I proceed, I'm going to get back to scaffold and we'll explore different things that we can do with scaffold. Alright, let's look at different things that we can do with scaffold. So Flutter is somehow open in a way that they give you ability to peep in their code or to look into their code. For example, if I want to see which kind of parameters does scaffold accept, other programming languages, they can't allow you to even go and check. But here, you can press Ctrl and hold it, and then click on scaffold. Press Ctrl button, hold it, and then click on a function that you want. So when I click on it, you see, take me to the Flutter code, and it will show me different params that this can accept. If you click here, and then it will take you to that very param and what does it mean. So this one gives you ability to do what? To know different things that you can do with the what? With the widget. So let's go ahead and look at different params here. So our first param, let me just simply click here. Param means parameters, and they look at only the important ones. So I'll come here and comment, and then put here the different ones. So above we have looked at it. Let's look at floating action bar. Alright, so floating action bar, it gives us ability to create a floating action button, not action bar. It gives us ability to create a floating button app, because this is also a common user interface that is always found in so many applications. So just say floating action bar, and then you pass floating action button, and then you pass floating action button, then you give it on press. So what should it do when they press it? And then you give it a child. So a child can be an icon of add. So pause that code and look at what I've just done. So now if I save, I should be able to see that I have an action bar. You see that? So we don't need to hassle so much to achieve that. We don't need to hassle so much to achieve this kind of of a setup. What else? So that is what we call a floating action bar. So you can pass the drawer, you can pass what we call bottom sheet, you can pass the background color. Let's say I want to change the background color of this. Just come and say background, and then we always have something called colors. So these colors, objects, this object of a class, it's a class, it gives us a lot of colors that you can access to Flutter. So you can say put background as amber, so you'll see that our background has changed to that. Hope members you're getting. Alright, so so many more parameters that we can pass to a scaffold. So you can see everything is in form of a child and a parent on top of it. Everything is some form of contained inside. There is something that is not connected to the other. Everything is connected with the other. Now we proceed. To what? We proceed. Let's look at different things that app bar can do. So to pass more parameters, just simply put comma. So put a comma here. Alright, so if I click on app bar, see all these I think that app bar can pass or can accept, right? So you can come and explore them by yourself. So if I come and put here background color and give it are we in app bar anyway? Yep. So I'll give it color, background color, and say maybe background color should be colors of orange. So you see our upper color will take that one there. So members, I hope you can see that. I hope you can see that. And you can change these colors as much as you want. Alright, so there's a load, there's elevation. You want some shadow to show where your upper ends. All that is there. Shadow color, loading, leading. So leading is something that will be in front here, and then you have here what you call actions. So actions is something that will be at the other further end. Alright, now actions takes multiple actions, so you can put an icon. It's a kind of an array where you see a square bracket. So you see we have this. So if I put here back to white, have that, and then if I come and put here the background color from yellow to white. Okay, so why are we seeing this shadow? This shadow, we are seeing it from what we set here as elevation. So if I put elevation 0, you don't see the difference between even the up bar and the body. So but if I put here something like 10, it will go ahead and increase that shading on top. All right, so go ahead and play with others that I haven't explained. Now we proceed to different user interfaces. Now Flutter is divided into two. I repeat, Flutter is mainly divided into two in terms of user interfaces. How should I call them? Now with Flutter, even likewise to HTML, what happens is we have two types of widgets. One is I don't know which, I don't know if I should call it, whether type or what, but we have two kinds. One is a container, or what we call layouts. Another one is a content widget, content-based widget. So a container, for it will not do, a layout, for it is not going to add content on the screen. I repeat, a layout is not going to add content on the screen, but its task could be to have your things organized, to have your content organized. It's just like how you can say a box at home. If someone asks you how many things do you have in your house, you don't count boxes, you don't count things, the containers that contain those things. You mainly count the content, the things that are actually there. So why you don't count the box? It's because its value is not, it's not helping you directly. For it, it's just helping you to keep things in shape or to keep things in a arranged way or in organized way. Likewise to containers, they don't add anything on our screen, but they help us. They help us to get things organized. So we call those one layouts. So you're going to approach this in two. We shall look at different layouts, and then we shall look at different contents. Content presentation. Like that, we shall be able to explore as many as we can. So our first layout that we're going to look at is a column. All right, but before we go to column, I want to be exploring one by one. We open one thing and then we explore what things we can do with it, something like that. Then I think it will help us a lot. All right, so I'm going to begin with first of all, how to now move from one screen to another, because we have to be able to demonstrate even with different screens. So to move from one screen to another, let me first remove this floating button I already did, and then I'm going to come here. So let me change this to columns. So I want, when I click here, if you take me to columns. Now, how do you tell the computer that I want to click on something using Flutter? We have different widgets that enables you to interact with your app. One of the widgets is called Inkwell. Inkwell will give you ability to interact with your app. Another one is called Gesture Detector. Gesture Detector will also give you ability to touch your app and it fills you. Another one is called List Item, and so on. Alright, so let's implement here Inkwell and we see if we can be able to click on this and see if there's something that will happen. So I'll just simply come here. I'm going to show you a way how we can surround, just like how you've seen that almost Flutter everything is parent child parent child parent child. So that means that sometimes you may need to surround something with something. For example, I want to click here on columns, so it should be able to dictate that to click. So I mean that I have to surround this column with a click listener. So when I click on it, it clicks. So to surround something, I'll show you a shortcut to do it. Of course, I can just simply grab it first and then I create it inside the other. But that is double work. So to surround something, just come here and click on the bulb. Alright, come here and click on the bulb here. Or the trigger to that bulb or suggestions, so just simply put Alt and Enter. Press Alt and hold it and then press Enter. So when you press Alt and Enter, it gives you suggestions. So I'm going to surround this column. I move to center, and I've surrounded it with what? With center. So if I save this column, this one column will literally be centered. But my purpose is not center. My purpose is a listener. Okay, so I'm surrounded with the Inkwell listener. All right. So I'll just simply come here and say Inkwell. So I remove center and replace it with what? With Inkwell. Right? So when I say Inkwell, I have to pass a method. I mean a property that's going to listen to the Inkwell. So a property, I can call it a property is called OnTap listener. So OnTap listener, it accepts a function like this and then a curly bracket like this. You see, it accepts a function, or open bracket and then a curly bracket. So it means that everything that you do here now, it is clickable. You see, even by terms of interface, it is clickable. All right, so I want to do what? I want to make it like if I click on it, I should be able to see something at least. So what we're going to do, we're going to put something in the console. So to put something in the console, you just simply say print. All right. You clicked columns. All right. So I save. You clicked columns. Now let's go back to the run. So this run, it will be showing you the output of things right here. So if I come and click back, You see, you clicked on columns. So what does it mean? It means that now I can listen to a click. Yes, I can listen to a click. That's good. Now, we're going to create another screen. We're going to create another screen. That screen, we're going to use it to demonstrate different things that we shall. Different things in columns, right? We're going to use it to demonstrate different things in columns, or how we can deal with columns. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come here to pages, create a new page, new file, right? And this I'm going to call it columns screen. It's better you always add the context or the type of let me call it columns page. So it's better to add the type of file at the end of its name. So I put here .dat, then press enter. So I put here so this is our second file. So I come and write here stateless widget, st stateless widget, and then I paste there the name. Remove this extension. Come here, press Alt and enter so it can import material. Yep, and everything is fine. So it means that I have another screen. Now what we're going to learn here is how can we move from this screen to the other screen that I've just showed you. So I'll come back here. Just simply put it. So we put something called alright, so watch. So just simply say navigator dot push, then put context, and then you come and put here something, a class called material page route. Material page route. So in this material page route, you open, it has a builder. Say builder, and then you put context, and then you point at this, and then say go ahead and put where I want to go. So I want to go to this page that we just created, this one here, columns page. So I come and put here columns page. I import it. And everything is fine. So let's go ahead and try. So if I click here, you see it takes us to the columns page. Alright, so that's how you move from one screen to another. Watch this very well and understand it. That's how you move from one screen to another. Okay, so let's go to columns screen. Click on columns screen. So I'll go back to the column screen, which is this one here. Now let's remove the placeholder and replace it with what? With a scaffold. Alright, then go ahead and put body, title, up bar. So I put up bar, and then the body, let me just skip up bar, and then I'll explain the body. So that is the columns page, right? So in here we're going to look at what is a column. So a column, it gives us ability, it's a type of user interface that helps us to arrange things one on top of the other or one below the other, right? To arrange things horizontally, right? A columns enables us to arrange things in a what? In a horizontal way, right? So now, how can we demonstrate this? So I'll come here to our scaffold, right? And I just determine where the scaffold is. I think the scaffold is here. And then I go ahead and say body. And then go ahead and say body. and then I put column. So to create a column, just simply say column like that. Now the other items have been taking children, or one child. But a column, for it accepts multiple children, right? A column accepts multiple children, meaning that it can take more than one item. So for things that can take more than one item, we give them a param called children, and it is an array, meaning that it can accept multiple things. So I can just simply say children like this, and then I go ahead and pass my first child. Alright, so first child can be a container. I mark it red, and then I give it a height of 100. So I give it a text as a container 1. So you can look at this very well. Pause the video and look at it. That's my first container, my second container, my third container. So if I save, you see I have 3 containers. But here the whole point is, one is on top of the other, or one is below the other, or on the bottom. Below or under? It's below the other, right? So that's the whole point of column. So a column, we can use it to organize our things by putting one on top of the other, or one below the other. So I can just simply say, let's say that these have limited width. So I can put here maybe 100, 100, and 100. Alright. So I can go ahead and arrange our columns, right? I can arrange our column. So those arrangement, you come here and they put what you call max alignment. So max alignment, it will organize them in vertical center, the center of vertical. All right, and then another one is cross alignment. Cross alignment will align things in horizontal or vertical. All right, I mean it will align things in horizontal way. Now this max alignment, you can just simply put max alignment, and then you pass max alignment in beginning with the capital letter. Main axis alignment. You just simply put main axis alignment, and then you can play with it here. So maybe at the end, so it will be at the further end, and then you can go ahead and say space around, so they'll be spaced. Right? I hope you're seeing that. Or you can say maybe space between, and then there'll be space between them. Then I can go and say maybe space evenly, so they'll be spaced in an even way. Alright, so that is how we deal with what? With columns. Now we can go ahead and also center them in a horizontal or vertical way. So column does not have a lot of parameters. Yeah, that's pretty much about the columns, but they're very, very important. However, I can show you a problem that now, what if we have 50 columns? What will happen? So let's say that each column is a height of 150, 150, 150. Right? So if we have something like that, okay, columns are now wider. Let me duplicate again, copy this, all of it, and add more columns. Right? So this becomes number 4, this number 5, number 6. Save. So you see, our column has gone beyond the screen. It has even brought an error, and we cannot scroll it. Right? This column is not scrollable. So that's a problem. We had just got a way how we can punch, we can organize one thing on top of the other, but we've just realized that this thing is not scrollable. So what is the solution to this problem? So the solution is, we're going to look at that tomorrow. How can we enable this one to be sliding. What is another alternative, or how can we solve this very problem? If you want it to be able to slide, not to overlap with the screen of the device. All right, so that's it for today. We have looked at the introduction of Flutter. We have looked at setting up the environment of Flutter. We have looked at creating our first Flutter application. I also have looked at how to organize our Flutter code, as well as how the file structure is organized. And we have looked at how you can click. We have on how you can apply a click listener on a widget, and we have also looked at how you can move from one screen to the other. All right. And we've learned how we can move from one screen to the other. And we've also looked at columns. Though we have realized that there's a problem, the columns are not scrollable, and if they go beyond the available screen, they throw an error. That is where we shall start from next time. I'm going to share with you the videos that can help you to get started very well with Flutter mobile application development. All right, so I would like to hear from you if you have questions, members.
Okay. Question?
Yes, please.
Okay. My question is there any need for any additional front end, something like React? Because I can see literally with Flutter, you are doing everything, even including the front end. Actually, what we have done right now is more of front end. So, is there any other need?
Yeah, you need React because Flutter is very good for mobiles, but for web it becomes very heavy since it almost shifts almost every code. I don't recommend it for web. It's not flexible enough. But with the React.js, you can write your own CSS, you can play with it, you can do anything that you want to do with React.js. But with Flutter, you are limited when it comes to the way how you want to express yourself in web. You are very much limited, and it's very heavy when you upload it on web. So I wouldn't recommend that you rely on Flutter to do web. You can learn your React and then be doing React for web. And then, in fact, that's what I'm doing these days. You do backend API, and then you do for it React for website, web, whatever, and then you do the mobile application itself. So you cannot. It's hard. You cannot do. You can. It's hard to use Flutter on what? It is doable, but it's not. Me, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it to do it on web. Yeah. So another question. Can we get another question?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. You have mute.
My question was, okay, I think I just had a bad experience with Android Studio, it being very okay. My computer can handle it, but I just didn't like the speed, the errors, and just how heavy it was. Like my computer would always overheat. Can I use VS Code? Then there are some extensions also for the emulators on VS Code, or you want us to use Android specifically?
You can use anything you want as long as it is Flutter code. Anything, even if you run it on web, as long as you can do whatever you want. I have no problem. As long as it is Flutter. So whatever magic you use, it's okay.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Any question from a lady? Gender balance. A lady, give us some closing remarks and we call it a day. Sherry, are you there? Ladies are right now. Okay, guys. All
Hello?
right. Yes, please. Yes, Kazibo, you were saying something?
Yeah, this is just another question. So, is that where React devs win now? Like when it comes to the website part? Because I know Flutter has a web, like can write websites with it, but is that where they gain an advantage over Flutter?
React JS is different. React Native is different. So React JS is totally different project. You're doing different project. React Native, you're doing also another project. So you're doing two different things. When you say React, what do you mean? React Native. React Native.
No,
What do you
I
mean?
just meant like they're doing JavaScript at once, like one language.
But-
Okay,
but-
not JavaScript as in, but yeah.
But you do two projects, right? React Native
Oh,
cannot.
okay, yeah.
React
Yeah.
Native cannot run on web. React JS cannot run on mobile. Yes, you're doing something that are related, but they are two different source codes. But here, Flutter, what it's trying to do, it tries to convert your mobile app code into a web code. So still, it's not fair to compare because React Native, there are two projects. Flutter is just still single project. Yeah, so yeah, members, thank you for joining. I will share with you the videos through Dr. Drake and